Good afternoon, Stuttgart. You're tuned in to Radio WRS 5, and I'm your host, Zube. Today, we have two very special guests with us, pop artist Marina from right here in Stuttgart, and George, who's both a pop artist and producer. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having us, Zub. It's really great to be here in my hometown studio.
Yes, thank you for the invitation. We're very happy to be here today.
So, Marina, tell our listeners a bit about yourself.
Well, I'm 21 years old, born and raised here in Stuttgart. I've been passionate about music since I was a little girl, and now I'm living my dream making music professionally.
And George, you're not from around here originally, right?
That's correct. I'm from Brela, Romania, and I'm 48 years old. I've been in the music industry for quite some time, both as a performer and behind the scenes as a producer.
That's fascinating. Now I'm curious about how you two first met. Could you share that story with our listeners?
Oh, it's actually kind of a funny story. We first connected online through a music platform where I had posted some of my early recordings. George heard them and reached out to me with some really thoughtful feedback.
Yes, I was immediately impressed by her raw talent. We talked online for a few months, and then I finally visited her here in Stuttgart. I remember being so nervous driving to her house for the first time.
And now he actually lives with me at my parents' house. My mom, Carla, and dad, Marcus, have been super supportive and welcomed him into our family.
That's quite a journey. So, George, how did your musical collaboration develop into such a successful career?
Well, it wasn't overnight, that's for sure. We started working together on some demos, and I could see Marina had something special. We, put together our first album, which caught some attention locally. Then we just kept working, kept improving, and somehow, here we are now with 8 albums and several singles that have done really well.
Yeah, we've been really fortunate with how people have responded to our music. Sometimes I still can't believe it when I hear our songs on the radio.
I'm curious about your family's reactions to your musical career path. Marina, how did your parents feel about it?
My parents were actually really supportive from the beginning. They've always encouraged me to follow my passions. So when I decided to pursue music seriously, they were totally behind me. Having George live with us has been great too because they see how dedicated we both are.
And what about your parents, George?
My parents were a bit more hesitant at first. They wanted something more stable for me, But over time, as they saw our success and how serious I was about it, they've come around. It was difficult at first, but they eventually accepted it, though I would say it was a harder journey with them.
I have to ask the question many of our listeners might be wondering about. With the significant age difference between you two, has that ever been an issue in your relationship?
Honestly, no. Age is just a number for us. We connect on so many levels, musically, intellectually, emotionally. We're good friends who love and respect each other very much. Our connection transcends age.
Exactly. We just click, It's never been something we even think about in our day-to-day lives.
George, you mentioned how much work goes into building a successful music career. How do you balance that with your personal life?
It's definitely challenging. This industry can consume you if you let it. The work is hard and time-consuming. Recording, promoting, touring, it never really stops. But I make a conscious effort not to neglect my private life with Marina. That's sacred to me. We protect our time together.
Yeah, we're really careful about balancing our public and private lives. We've seen other artists make mistakes by letting their personal lives become too public, and we don't want that. I strongly believe that private life should remain private, separate from our public personas. That's something we're really intentional about.
That's a wise approach. I'm curious, what does a typical day look like for both of you when you're not recording or performing?
It's surprisingly normal. We do regular things like shopping, cleaning the house and yard, taking walks. We spend time with Marina's parents. I call or video chat with my parents back in Romania. We talk a lot, reflect on our work, plan for the future. With Marina, I lead a very normal and natural life, which I think keeps us grounded. When we are at shopping, we look and talk if we must buy or not. We pay attention to the amount of money we can afford to spend, and without exaggerating in any way. That is, shopping within the limits of common sense.
Yeah, people might think our life is all glamour and excitement, but most days are pretty ordinary, and that's how we like it.
Have you had any memorable encounters with fans?
Oh, absolutely. We've met some incredible fans who are so passionate about our music. We always try to make time for autographs and conversations when we can. Those connections are really important to us.
Definitely. Though when we travel, we do have some security measures in place. I usually have an insured pass, and we use a limousine with a driver for safety reasons. Not because we want to be isolated from fans, but just to make sure everything stays safe and organized.
I understand you recently released a live album. What inspired that decision?
We wanted to offer something special to people who couldn't attend our concerts in person. The live album captures not just our songs, but the whole atmosphere, the energy of the crowd, the spontaneous moments. It's like bringing a piece of the concert experience to listeners at home. Every song has its story because of the lyrics. If the lyrics are nothing, then the song is in vain.
Exactly. Not everyone can make it to a live show, but this way, they can still feel part of the experience.
And we really believe our music contributes something positive to the world. In times of division, music can be a force for unity and peace. That's always been part of our mission with the art we create together.
That's a beautiful sentiment to end on. Marina, George, thank you so much for joining us today on Radio WRS5. I wish you continued success with your music and your life together.
Thank you for having us. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Zub. And thanks to everyone listening. We appreciate your support so much.